Before we begin, this movie is going to have spoilers for the 2016 Passengers movie. Okay. So Passengers is a 2016 sci-fi romance movie starring Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. In the film, Chris Pratt wakes up Jennifer Lawrence, leading to a moral quandary that people ask themselves, is that okay to do if you are alone and going to die? Luckily for us, the movie solves this moral quandary by having the plot justify him waking her up so that she can help him save the space station, because otherwise, if she didn't get woken up, she would have died anyway, and so would have Chris Pratt. Apparently, the morality of waking Jennifer Lawrence's character up really bothered a lot of people, but for me, I thought it was something that actually allowed the movie to stand out more so than just a romantic story or just a sci-fi story. It actually added in some kind of questions about what can go on while we go on these long journeys, and how people deal with them can create moral situations that generally would not be able to exist in our current situation, and that's good sci-fi. I think this movie's like honestly an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I thought it was fucking great, but online people seem to be really mad about it. I don't know why. But I'm not really here to do a review today. What I'm really here to talk about is one burning question that I have, and that is, why do we see Jennifer Lawrence in her swimsuit when we do in the movie? Although I apologize, that question's a little complicated, so let me explain. During the movie, Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt's character get into a relationship, and while that happens, we are shown Jennifer Lawrence's character going swimming in this big pool like 3 times, and none of those 3 times we ever see her in her swimsuit. Now, generally, when you have a romance movie, you start showing the characters in more arousing and erotic senses as the relationship builds. So not only are the characters in the movie becoming more intimately connected, but the audience is also experiencing the effect of the relationship and creating a kind of feeling that you are also in the relationship as well. And what I mean by that is we are, as the audience, Chris Pratt. We are his character in the film. We wake up with him. We see the film solely from his perspective. When another character is introduced, Jennifer Lawrence, in the scene and the way it is shot, she is masked by a tree and she comes out from the tree. And we are seeing this from Chris Pratt's perspective. And later on in the film, we are also, after the relationship, it goes to the brief hiatus. You know, the Act 3 relationship breakup in any romance movie before they get back together for the finale. We're also shown that scene through Chris Pratt's perspective. He's like spying on her with a bunch of cameras, and it comes off a little creepy. So, getting back to my point, why do we see her in shots of her swimsuit where we can actually see what it looks like after the relationship ends and not in the relationship? And I think there's a purpose there. And to me, because since you see her swimming like 3 times while they're in the relationship, but you don't see the intimacy, and then we see her like 3 to 2 times swimming and they're not in a relationship, and you see her in a more arousing sense, I feel like the film was trying to do something to the audience because of the role that the audience has adopted, because of how the film has trained the audience to view the characters. And the film has trained the audience to view Jennifer Lawrence's character in an arousing sense, but then when the relationship ends, it is no longer appropriate for the audience to view Jennifer Lawrence in that way. And now that we are being shown her in her swimsuit in an arousing way, it becomes uncomfortable for the audience, because we shouldn't be privy to that view. It shouldn't be appropriate for us to be seeing her this way in a private setting. Especially, we're not even Chris Pratt. We're even more voyeuristic than Chris Pratt is. At least that's the effect I think it's going for. And I think that's something that's woven in the film that makes it stand out above so many other kind of just generic sci-fi, like Wandering Earth tier garbage, where the sci-fi is just as soft as fucking water. You could replace it with fucking magic and it would be the same movie essentially. So yeah, that's my weird pervy take on Passengers, but I mean, I can only be as perverted as, you know, the director and writer set the movie up to be. So I don't know, complain to them, I guess. Thanks.